Wake turbulence! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? A very scary first-hand learning experience. What's good, people? Agent Jules reporting for duty. Wake turbulence! A function of an aircraft producing lift, resulting in the formation of two counter-rotating vortices trailing behind the aircraft. It's also a really big, scary thingy that I got caught up in for the first time a while back, and since we are still in spooky month, I figured it's time to tell another spooky story. Now, spoiler alert, obviously, I got out of the wake turbulence alive and unspoiled, and so did the aircraft, but I must say, it gave me a new, very healthy, very primal respect for watching out for wake turbulence. So without further ado, let me regale you with the tale as to what exactly happened to me. And I will be doing so using the power of technology. So here we are back in my little puppet rig so I can regale the tale of the wake turbulence. And to start off, it all starts, of course, with me flying the pattern. So here I am taking off, going down the upwind, and of course I go on the crosswind and the downwind. And the thing is that, as usual, because I'm only flying once a week, this first few passes are me just kind of shaking off the rust. The winds this day were variable. Today was actually the first time I had variable winds. So they were both headwinds, these cross headwinds coming both from the, that would be my left and my right. And so that was kind of confusing me. At the same time, of course, is that shaking off the rust, I'm trying to do my best to maintain pattern altitude. Let me get rid of these arrows here. Maintaining pattern altitude, where in the case of the left runway at my airport, pattern altitude is 1,800. All of a sudden, ATC starts calling out for traffic. And the traffic they call out is actually a jet inbound on its final to the airport off to the east. Now, the thing about the airport that I train at is that its airspace is Class Delta, right underneath the upper area of the Class Charlie of a bigger airport off to the east. So we consistently get big old jets coming in on their finals to land at the bigger airport. So, you know, they call the traffic to be watched out. It's off my 9 or 10 o'clock or whatever. And, you know, they state the altitude as being, I don't know, like 3,000 feet or whatever. And of course they say at the end, caution, wake turbulence. Now, I've had these big jets fly over my head before, and, you know, I've made sure to give them a nice, you know, give them some space, because, of course, the golden rule of thumb when flying around big old jets is that you want to be above and upwind of them as to not catch their wake turbulence. Well, I think you can all guess what happened. I was below and downwind. Exacerbated, of course, by the fact that the winds were shifting from the right and the left. And sure enough, I catch wake turbulence. So let's go ahead and get rid of these arrows and shift the scene. Boing. Come on, boing. There we are. We have this little puppet rig again. This is a nice third-person view. So here I am going down. As you can see, these arrows show I'm on the downward leg. There's our base leg, and there's our final leg, just to kind of give you an idea. And when I get caught into the wake turbulence, it feels as if someone grabbed the left wing and flipped it like a table. And I start banking hard to the right and losing altitude. I'm feeling this, and my immediate response is to do hard aileron to the left to kind of maintain as level of a flight as I can. And of course, doing my best on the rudders to make sure I don't, you know, slip or skid and get into a spin stall, which would be, you know, absolutely terrible. And my instructor, who I've mentioned in previous videos, which you can totally check out either in these annotations up here or in the, you know, description box down below, my instructor is pretty good at giving me a lot of leeway to screw up before he has to jump in and rescue a really bad situation. The thing about this situation is that it was right at the cusp where I could see that he was giving me the look of like, what the deuce are you doing? I might have to take controls from you. But all of a sudden, as soon as this hard banking happened, it stopped. And I stopped feeling this weird pressure on the left wing, and my hard, you know, aileron to the left leveled out the plane. And of course, me and my instructor are kind of talking amongst ourselves, going like, you know, what was that? Because at first he was kind of giving me the look of like, you know, what were you doing? But I was giving him a look kind of like, you know, that wasn't me. You know, I was saying like, what, you know, what was that? I felt like the plane like lost control. And so my instructor kind of, something dawns on him, and he says like, that was probably wake turbulence. So yeah, so apparently that was wake turbulence, and I was just like, wow, okay, well that was bad. I don't want that to happen again. So The theory is, let me go ahead and shift back, because there were variable winds and, a combination of, being at the wrong place at the wrong time and me probably not being as disciplined on my altitudes as I should have been, little things adding up. The wake turbulence is going to, follow its normal path downwind. The winds shifted from this away, right, to this away, thus causing, let me go ahead and shift colors to make it easier, the wake turbulence to be more, I guess, exaggeratedly pushed in this direction, and I happen to get caught in the middle of it all. So at the end of the day, I'm thankful that if I were to get caught in wake turbulence at all, it happened at, 1,800 feet as opposed to like only 800 feet. My end takeaway in all of this is that you really need to pay attention where you're flying. And if I'm ever in a situation where I end up getting caught up in wake turbulence again, hopefully it'll be at a high altitude. And I will have had the knowledge that I've experienced it before, so hopefully it won't like viscerally shake me and I can say, okay, I know where I'm at and deal with the situation. So what about you? Do you have any interesting, scary stories of things that you were able to get out of and you decided to internalize it so you never forget it? Go ahead and tell me in the comment section down below either way. And so until next time, I thank you for sticking around and hearing this story. Here's to your smooth skies. Here's to your clear landings. I think I reversed that, but that's okay. Until next time, deuces.